Welcome to the Spiritual Archetype quiz. My name is Grant. I'm going to be your instructor for this quiz. Before we begin, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell. I'm going to be creating in-depth videos for each one of these spiritual archetypes so you can go in deeper and find out more about yourself and your spirituality. All right, let's begin the quiz. So for this quiz, you're going to either need a piece of paper and a pen, or you can use the Notes app on your cell phone. Basically, through each question, you're going to be answering with one answer. So for question number 1, you would answer A, B, C, D, etc. And you'll do that for questions 1 through 10. Let's go ahead and start with question number 1. And if you need to go get a piece of paper and a pen, pause the video now and get the supplies you need. Question number 1. Which vacation sounds best to you? Is it A, volunteering to serve women and children in an impoverished community in the Caribbean? Is it B, immersing yourself into an indigenous village in South America and going on a vision quest with tribal elders? Is it C, exploring mysterious historical locations, natural landmarks, and other New Age communities in Europe? Is it D, attending a yoga or meditation retreat in India or Bali? Is it E, going mountain trekking, whitewater rafting, or wild food foraging in Colorado? Is it F, riding a motorcycle to an off-grid transformational music and arts festival? Or is it G, exploring archaeological sites and ancient libraries in Turkey in search of hidden knowledge for a book you are writing? Pause the video here if you need more time to answer this question. Moving on to question number 2. In relationships, you A, nurture your partner and create moments of connection. In relationships, you seek transformational experiences to share together. In relationships, you C, like to discover what past lives you shared together. In relationships, you D, need to feel spiritually connected. In relationships, you E, tend to be more health conscious so that your partnership feels alive. In relationships, you F, look for someone who is aligned to your unique values and outlook on life. Or in relationships, you G, see your partner as your divine reflection. If you need more time on this question, please pause the video here. Question number 3. Which animal do you resonate with the most? Is it A, the deer, B, the jaguar, C, the raven, D, the wolf, E, the turtle, F, the lion, or G, the eagle? If you need more time on this question, please pause the video here. Question number 4. Where do you fall on the spectrum between thinking and feeling? Is it A, you feel everything? Are you B, you feel a lot and sometimes think about why you felt it afterwards? Is it C, you feel first and love to analyze the details? Is it D, you are balanced in your thoughts and feelings? Is it E, you think first and then take action to really feel the experience? Is it F, you study and analyze the world so you know how to feel about things? Or is it G, you contemplate everything? If you need more time on this question, please pause the video here. Question number 5. Which personal characteristics do you respect the most? Is it A, compassion and empathy, B, transformation and transcendence, C, humility and wisdom, D, balance and belonging, E, connection and courage, F, introspection and inner strength, or G, insight and truth? Pause the video here if you need more time on this question. Question number 6. You are most comfortable when you are A, serving, helping, cooking for, and connecting with others, B, sharing stories with family, relatives, or neighbors, C, getting creative with a best friend or an animal companion, D, alone or alongside others, ecstatically connecting via movement, music, or exercise, E, surrounded by plants and wildlife, F, listening to music, researching conspiracies, and imagining how you can change the world? Or G, alone at home, reading books, watching documentaries, writing, and envisioning the future? If you need more time on this question, pause the video here. Question number 7. What are your greatest strengths? Are you A, selfless and kind? B, open-minded and adaptable? C, curious and creative? D, faithful and disciplined? E, self-reliant and innovative? F, nonconformist and determined? Or G, smart and expressive? If you need more time on this question, please pause the video here. Question number 8. Which one of these best describes your dream career? Is it A, a path that utilizes your empathy, compassion, healing, intuition, and connects to you emotionally? Is it B, a path that allows you to guide others on a journey of self-discovery, healing, awakening, ancestral connection, and overall transformation? Is it C, a path that allows you to utilize the many creative facets of your being, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical? Is it D, a path that taps into your spiritual strengths and your connection to your inner being? Is it E, a path that uses your physical strength and knowledge of health or is related to the environment? Is it F, a path that allows you to change other people's minds, inspire their hearts, and see the world from your unique perspective to change things for the better? Or is it G, a career that utilizes your brilliant brain, timeless insights, innovative ideas, and visions? If you need more time on this question, please pause the video here. Question number 9. Which answer best describes you? Is it A, kind, compassionate, in tune, purposeful, nurturing? B, multidimensional, open-minded, courageous, sensitive? C, wise, gifted, creative, healthy, content with the life you've chosen? D, spiritual, soulful, introspective, disciplined, and faithful? E, wild, free, curious, resourceful, in harmony with nature? F, strong-willed, seeker of truth, independent and strong moral compass? Or G, visionary, old soul, expressive, intelligent, peaceful? If you need more time on this question, please pause the video here. Question number 10. Which do you believe would best serve humanity as a whole? Would it be A, end world hunger and alleviate suffering created by poverty? B, help all people accept their own mortality and understand the infinite nature of their soul? C, empower people with the knowledge and recipes to holistically heal their minds and bodies with plants, animals, and fungi? Would it be D, empower everyone with practices and disciplines to obtain inner enlightenment? Would it be E, disconnect from technology and reconnect humanity with the majesty, simplicity, and sustainability of a life lived in harmony with nature? F, create political change to peacefully unite humankind and take better care of the environment? Or G, unveil every secret known to humanity and provide free education to everyone? If you need more time on this question, please pause the video here. This is our last question, so we're going to go ahead and look at the answers and figure out which spiritual archetype you are. Now, how many of each letter did you get? I want you to go ahead and take a look at the questions 1 through 10 and tally up how many A's did you get? How many B's did you get? How many C's, D's, E's, F's, and G's did you get? Write the number next to the letter. You can make a note on your piece of paper, or you can write it down in the Notes app on your phone. Take a moment, pause the video if you need some time to do this right now. Now, I want to say, some of us will have the same numbers under each. You may have 3 for A and 3 for B, or 2 for E, 2 for F, and 2 for G. That's natural. Sometimes we have a crossover on these spiritual archetypes. So you may be a blend, and that's okay. You may be more than one, but we're going to go ahead and look at them right now. So if you calculated that your most frequently answered question was A, you are a healer. If it was B, you are a shaman. If it was C, you are a witch. If it is D, you are a devotee. If it is E, you're the naturalist. And if it is F, you're the rebel. And finally, G, the prophet. Now stick with me because we're going to go into each one of these in depth right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at those who answered A the most, the healer. Healers are the nurturers of humanity. For those of you who identify with the healer, you value compassion. Compassionate action as the highest virtue of love. You are charitable, guided, and you lead with an open heart. You cannot tolerate injustice against any life form because you believe all life is sacred, no matter how small, feeble, or forgotten. You handle the burden of self-sacrifice with ease as you lift up the collective. You are a defender of the downtrodden, a protector of the meek, and a nurturer of the neglected. Your shadow as a healer can rise up if you fall into martyrdom or victimhood. You might sacrifice your own well-being for others, but if this is self-abuse, in the end, you will not be serving anyone. Helping others can also be used as a bypass for egotism, which can lead to the savior complex. Famous healers in history include Thich Nhat Hanh, Mother Teresa, Hunter Patch Adams, and many more. That is the healer. If you answered B the most, you might embody the archetype of the shaman. Now, shamans are known to be medicine men and women. They are healers of the soul. For those of you who identify with the shaman, you are immensely intuitive, awake, and conscious of energy. You are able to penetrate the illusory veil of 3 dimensions to see subtle energy at play. You have a deep relationship with animal, plant, and ancestor spirits. These connections allow you to guide others as they learn to heal their own diseases. You may be a misfit in society because you're aware of things that others simply cannot perceive. The subtle awareness allows you to immediately understand what is out of alignment in a person or a place. You are here to be a pathfinder for humankind's transformational journey into wholeness. The shadow can arise for shamans, and it may manifest if they decide to trade their unique gifts solely for power, influence, or money. They can choose to manipulate vulnerable people for their own gain when in their shadow form. If you cannot surrender the ego, then a god complex can take hold. Famous shamans in history include Merlin, Carlos Castaneda, Don Juan, and many more. Now, if you answered C the most, you might embody the essence, the archetype of the witch. Infamously and incorrectly demonized in the Middle Ages, witches are powerful spiritual alchemists with a balanced connection between spirituality and science. Those who identify as witch seek spiritual oneness through the practice of rituals, spells, and ceremonies. You are a devotional and down-to-earth person who enjoys expressing your faith through precise practices that call on elemental forces and spirits. Daily invocations, mantras, prayers, ceremonies, experiments, spells, or rituals are essential in strengthening your connection to the divine. You are empowered to use your creativity to achieve your highest personal potential. When your wild feminine energy, both in men and women, is alchemized with your focused masculine energy, both in men and women, and any spectrum, you can create universes. In your shadow form, it can be easy for you to fall into boredom within your rituals if you do not recharge emotionally with rest and self-care. It is possible that if you let unexpressed emotions fester into bitterness, resentment, or anger, they can take hold of you and motivate you to do harm to others with your abilities. Famous witches in history include Madame Curie, Sir Isaac Newton, Marie Laveau, Aleister Crowley, and many more. If you answered D the most, then you might embody the Devotee Archetype. Devotees come in many forms: yogis, monks, rabbis, and many more. As a devotee, devotion, commitment, courage, faith, discipline, and action are at your core. You experiment with reaching and mastering higher states of consciousness. Whether mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, you pursue purer and profounder states of being in all that you do. You may feel most connected to your truest nature when surrendering your ego and following the guidance of ancient traditions, ancestors, or teachers, both physical and metaphysical. Above all else, you are devoted to the teacher within you. You are guided by your inner fire and your inner light. The shadow form of the devotee archetype may emerge if you become obsessive with attaining higher states of consciousness to the detriment of yourself or others. Excessive self-discipline can turn to self-abuse and can actually be a spiritual bypass that can lead to a disconnection from the heart. Devotees are also susceptible to manipulation if they blindly and naively follow false gurus. Famous devotees in history include Gandhi, Yogananda, Hanuman, Saint Francis Xavier, and many more. Now, if you answered E, you might just embody the Naturalist Archetype. Naturalists are deeply committed to experiencing divinity in all its rawest forms in nature. As a naturalist, you are not afraid of getting your hands dirty, taking risks, and melting the boundaries between you and the infinite consciousness in Mother Nature. Your senses are heightened beyond the normal human level. You can feel the heartbeat of the earth in the soles of your feet. You have always felt that there is something wild and pure beyond the confines of society, and so things like fame, status, riches do not appeal to you as much as they do for others. You learn through direct experience, tasting, smelling, feeling, for wisdom and love, and for the ultimate freedom that comes from merging with your true self in nature. In the shadow side of the naturalist, the dark side can come up by being resentful of all those who do not follow the path that you do, or do not have the preference, fortitude, or skills to live a life in nature. Be cautious of the tendency to become severely self-absorbed, antisocial, uncaring, and even ruthless against those who do not follow your path. Naturalists in history include Jane Goodall, Theodore Roosevelt, Walt Whitman, St. Francis Assisi, and many more. If you answered F in these questions most, then you might embody the archetype of the rebel. In the pursuit of real freedom, rebels reject anything that is false, naive, or spiritually misleading. As a person who connects with the rebel archetype, you are a truth seeker at your core. You are clever, insightful, and free with your thoughts. You use your mind to see through the veils of illusion created by power-hungry people in society. You are not swayed by myth, but rely on evidence. Your spiritual practice is disruption. You see the value of death and rebirth. You enjoy challenging the status quo and destroying outdated systems that are infected with corruption. You have a powerful heart that burns for justice and leads you courageously to take action for change. You have an old soul wisdom and an uncanny ability to see the truth. The shadow side of the rebel can manifest as total chaos. You may think that anarchy is the only answer in the shadow form and that people have to get hurt to cause real change, but this is misleading. This is the shadow speaking. Too much burning passion can blind you to other people's suffering. Rebels fall into the trap of living only in conflict. They can feel anger and stubbornness a lot when in their shadow, and it's something to watch out for. Rebels in history include Joan of Arc, Martin Luther King, Geronimo, Spartacus, and William Wallace. If you answered G the most, you might just be the prophet archetype. Prophets are here to receive wisdom from the unified consciousness in order to share it with humanity. As a prophet, your mind is a divine instrument meant to serve the world. You are able to tap into sacred knowledge with ease. You may be gifted with metaphysical abilities like telepathy, channeling, or second sight. Through meditation, self-hypnosis, and other mental disciplines, you can communicate with ascended masters. You have all the makings of a philosopher. It is in your true nature to teach about the sacred mysteries of human existence. You love knowledge, devour books, and have a passion for learning as it brings you closer to the divine. Self-expression and creativity help you fulfill your purpose. You are a proud, lifelong student, and your profound messages can elevate human consciousness. In the shadow side, the shadow of the prophet can emerge as a grossly self-inflated ego. The prophet may embody a God complex and use it to manipulate others for their own will for power. On the opposite spectrum, the prophet can also have low self-esteem, believing that none of their wisdom is their own and that they are worthless. This rings especially true if their ideas are rejected by society. Famous prophets in history include Plato, Buddha, Amma, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, and many more. Thank you so much for taking the Spiritual Archetype quest, the Spiritual Archetype quiz, and stay tuned as I provide long-form videos to go even deeper into these spiritual archetypes. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, let us know what archetype you are below, and we'll see you in the next video.